Richie Longshots. You know what? I forgot to put this up when Joel was on. I gotta still look at this. Look, the entire team is swarming our guy, and I feel like I had to, show that. Richie,
I love
what's
that
up?
game. I love that game. Just look at everyone's shorts. How much has changed in 10 years in the game of basketball, if not for the length of everyone's shorts? It is a spectacle to see.
It is beautiful. All right. Well, hey, John Manson. How about this guy? We all thought he was dead in the water. He was like 15 games back at one point. Now he is within 2 of the mighty Richie Longshots. Richie, are you getting a little nervous with 2 weeks to go with the Manson train?
I'm going to use a horse racing analogy. I have my blinders on. I'm not looking to see who's coming up, who's on my right, who's on my left. I've been pretty much consistent all year. I'm going to knock on wood. I've avoided a dreaded just 3-8, 2-9 type week for the most part. Pretty much being able to go that 6-7 wins the whole time. I'm trusting my process. I'm going to continue on. And if John is out here making great picks and having 9 in 2 weeks, good for him. There's nothing I can do to stop that. I just got to keep my head down, keep doing what I'm doing. But it's great to see. You look all the way across, you see, you combine all of our records, we're above 500. Chad, 6-5 week. Round of applause for him. That's a huge step. But no, I'm happy for John. I just had to sweat out some CAA a little bit ago. Delaware -7.5 against Stony Brook, so that was a nice little Monday night sweat. But you could hear I'm losing my voice because I was down in Liberty all weekend. So great experience, great people, courtside seats, hanging with KD. Shout out to Dennis Fields. Got to meet him and his family. Great tour of the football stadium. Coleman Crowley. We showed him a great time for sure.
What's your
Well,
thoughts
the people
on
weren't that great because me and Kirby weren't there.
It would have been even better.
One of these days I'll make the pilgrimage
Yes.
down there. What was your overall thoughts on the team? Seeing them in person. Anything different than the ESPN Plus broadcast, getting to see them up close, and anything kind of just catch your eye?
So I did the first half courtside, and then the second half sat opposite, right behind the bench. And it's insane how much depth this team has that you don't realize when you're watching at home. But when you're there behind the bench and McKay's just like, bam, next person, like constant rotation, which is great because, you're getting everyone those minutes. And there's going to be some nights where, you're riding Porter's hot hand. Some nights it's going to be Kyle. So, finding out who are going to be your best 5 for that night and having them ready on the court was really cool to see just how much that flowed throughout the game. Kyle's even bigger than I realized. And it's just, what Darius does to see it live, how quick that step back is just, it's mind blowing.
Awesome.
They didn't cover though, but that's neither here nor there.
There was a brawl between UC Davis and Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
And some of those folks courtside got knocked into it. What's your reaction if Darius and somebody else are throwing elbows and you get knocked over at one of these games?
If I get knocked over, I'm gonna be
I'm
gonna be like a pregnant lady, like, don't touch me, get away. Like it's lawsuit city. Call up. We got a couple lawyers on Liberty Twitter. It'd be a banner of just my face in the Liberty Arena if I get knocked over in a brawl. So, no, it would have been great to see. I was actually sitting next to a couple football players and Chad, so we're ready to roll, And I told Coach at one point, I think he gave a little smirk. I said, Coach, if you don't get a technical, I will. So I'm ready to go. You just say the word. If we got a brawl, I'd rather get thrown out than Darius get thrown out of a game. So just keep that in mind if it's ever needed.
We'd rather that happen too.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into this week's picks. If I counted right here, John and Richie have picked different in 8 games this week. So there will be some a real. I guess those are really the games you just got to watch. The other ones don't really matter, right?
Yeah, and again, like I said, I want to finish above 55%. It's been my goal for a while. I got to get through this week and next week. I could definitely really just blow it all away and end up below 50% outright, but just keeping it going. It's great because I do definitely want to have the best record and going to be, have some vested interest in these games without having to actually put money on it. So that's always a plus. But no, it's going to be exciting kicking off tomorrow, a game that I probably would not be watching if it wasn't for this. So it'll be good to see.
Well, speaking of that game, this is a great game. It's a big matchup in the Big East. Creighton at Providence. I went with Creighton. They are playing really, really well. I think I saw actually today, I think in Torvik, they are like the number 1 team in the country over the last month in terms of efficiency. So I just think, man, that team's playing well. I know Providence, that is a nasty arena to try to go in and get a win. They have a ridiculous home record, but I'm going with the hotter team. I think Creighton is a lot better at their best than Providence at their best.
Yeah, so I'm kind of disappointed. You got it at a good number. The line right now is 2.5. I just looked, saw it on FanDuel. But you said Providence is a tough place to play. Dunkin' Donuts Arena, correct?
I think like it was, and then they sold out. I think they sold out. The Dunk was what it was, but I think
tough place to play. They're 8-4 this year against the spread at home, and they're 5-3 against the spread this year as a dog. Yes, Creighton is playing well, but I guess I see this being coming down to the wire. Would I love to have 2.5? Absolutely, but going with Providence. Providence at home dogs.
All right, Alabama at Tennessee. Look, Tennessee has had a great season. They have 2 straight losses. They're at home.
Very funny losses, by the way. I don't think we should brush past.
They're such a weird team. Like, they look like a legit Final Four team, and then they look like a team that's going to lose to a 15 seed the next night. I don't know. I hate fading Alabama because that team is so darn good, but I believe in the home team that needs it more. I don't know. I'm 61-65, so what do I know? I don't know, but that's what I'm going with.
How do you respond losing 2 straight buzzer beaters like that? Like, you coming back to play the number 1 team in the country? Yeah, I'm absolutely worried. Alabama now is going to have that number 1 next to their name, and I feel like that is a major curse the moment that happens. But I'm going to trust Nate Oates. I think he's one of the best coaches in America. Anytime you have the number 1 team in the country getting points, you have to jump on that. I've been a big fan of Bama all year. I said it, I think, last week. The better they are, the better our resume is going to be looking. So hopeful that they can keep that train going. And if they're getting 2, I'll take it all day.
Well, Nate Oates, Tony Bennett, Richie McKay. Is there a better coach than those 3? A more likable, easy to root for coach? Am I missing anyone? Those would probably be like my 3 favorite coaches in the country.
Well, man, around here, a lot of people like Hubert Davis just because of his pedigree at Carolina. But no, I mean, I think those 3 guys. What's the guy's name at North Florida? Maybe get the gif of him screaming. I don't know.
It's a good one.
If we're talking most overrated coaches in the country, then yeah, definitely he'd be on that list. Jeez. All right. FGCU at Stetson. Riding the seemingly back from the dead Dunk City on the road at the Stetson Wagon Hatters. I mean, this has been a ATS darling this year. You are going with Florida Gulf Coast. Why?
It's a big time. You zig when everyone else is zagging. Okay. They've won their last 2. I know they're fighting to get into the tournament, right? Still, are they still
Yeah,
on the
they are.
bubble?
No, they're
Means
fighting.
more. Give me 4 points. Again, they're back from the dead. They won their last two. A little bit of momentum, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm very interested in some of these teams that are playing for a lot more. Like Stetson. I mean, what are you playing for at this point?
Yeah.
You're not going to be a top 2 seed. You're not going to miss the tournament. So no, I mean that's a good. That'll be interesting to see. I'm really interested in like that. Not to get too far ahead, but the last game of the year
Yep.
is like Darius's second senior night. There is like a very good chance one way or the other that game is meaningless because if
hmm
Liberty wins or loses, if there's no change in the standings before that game's going to end up being meaningless. So I'm very interested to see how that game turns out. But
I agree.
yeah, it'll be weird, but cool, but different. I don't know. All right, Thursday, Liberty at Kennesaw. This is the biggest game of the year for Liberty. I mean, it there's no way around it. I mean, there's probably a 90% chance that this game determines home court advantage in the ASUN tournament. Now, one of the two teams could get knocked off and they're not playing the semifinals, and then you do have home court advantage. But as we've seen all year in the ASUN, home court advantage is king. It's been huge. Liberty seems unbeatable at Liberty Arena for the most part. At times, it's been beatable on the road. So huge game. You are going with the Owls. First off, long shots. Are you just saying, oh, they're going to cover the 5, or do you think they're going to win?
This is, I think they cover the 5. I think Liberty wins. This is also an emotional hedge. However, you just mentioned it. Liberty away, they're 7. They are 3-7 against the spread away this year. Kennesaw State 6-2 against the spread at home. Liberty has not covered the last. They did not cover during the double last week. Kicking myself because I said they were not going to cover against EKU. However, I was going to the game, therefore had to take Liberty. But that's either here nor there. But no, I just on the road, a team that again they've looked great, but 5 points. If this is a one possession game, I'll take the 5. This game goes to overtime, but it's part emotional hedge, part I don't love Liberty on the road in this spot. I hope I just we'll see.
Well, I want to bring you in on this. I got a question for you. Your thoughts on this? So, looking at Liberty's road games this year, the Eastern Kentucky and the Lipscomb game, I believe both of those games, we felt pretty confident Liberty was going to win, right? I wasn't as confident in Lipscomb, but I still felt pretty good. The two road games that I felt at the time most nervous about was that road trip of Jacksonville, North Florida, and Liberty just went in and took care of business. I kind of wonder here with Liberty, this is my gut feeling on this, is that they know what's at stake here. And if Liberty is now, I'm not saying they're not always fully focused, but if they're really dialed in, they're really going to come out and put everything they have into this game. Every piece of scouting is going to just be top notch. That's where I feel like Liberty's just going to come in and take care of business. I don't think Liberty's going to go win by 20 or anything like that, but I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win fairly convincingly.
Yeah, that Eastern Kentucky game was kind of a fluke game, right? I don't think Eastern Kentucky had any real business winning that game, but it just kind of shook out like that. I feel like Kennesaw State is the record shows it, but I feel like they're a much better team. So I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I'm sort of with you. I feel like they are going to come out and they're going to be intense and their game is going to be ratcheted up. But, if they shoot, the first 8 3-pointers and none of them go in, what happens then? So I will say, though, if for whatever reason they lose, Kennesaw gets the 1 seed and we have a final at Kennesaw, I think Liberty would play better the second game and win the tournament on their floor.
Rich McKay has never lost to the same team twice in
Right.
the ASUN. So, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, even if you lose this game, is Kennesaw really going to beat Liberty twice in a season?
Right.
That's that's tough. So that's
Kennesaw has never beaten Liberty, like
yeah,
at
that's
any
true.
point.
Mhm.
So
That's
yeah,
true. You wonder if that kind of creeps in too. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, Kennesaw can win this game. I'm not saying they can't. And I am very excited for this game. I think Liberty just comes in and takes care of business. That's just my feeling. All right, I am the lone dog on North Florida at Lipscomb. North Florida is just such a crapshoot. I'm getting 7 points here. North Florida is another one of those teams that needs it more than Lipscomb at this point. Am I nuts, long shots?
I don't think you're nuts. Just I don't trust UNF on the road. They're 4-11 against the spread away this year. Lipscomb's starting to come into something. They're 4-1 in their last 5 against the spread. 7. I was very pleased when I saw that number because I was expecting something, maybe 9 or 10. So I'll take 7. I like Lipscomb here. Where's North Florida at? Where's Lipscomb? I think they're going to be trying to build some momentum up, going into the tournament, and they're at home, sneaky, tougher place to play than some of the other places in the ASUN. So it'll be difficult for North Florida. But any time I see Chad with the same pick as me, it gets me nervous, even if John has it too.
Yeah, I don't know why I went with North Florida. I really regret it. I'll ride with it. We'll see what happens. I mean, what do I got to lose at this point? But yeah, Lipscomb's kind of been a wagon at home, so yeah, that was a bad pick. But oh well. All right, North Alabama at Bellarmine. We were completely split on this. I faded Bellarmine all year. No point in changing now. North Alabama, I don't know where this team came from, but they are playing really, really well.
Yep.
I loved that team to sneak into the final because I think Liberty would match up very well with them, but they are playing really, really well. Congrats to that program for, they were one of the absolute bottom dwellers in college basketball, and now they've been a very competitive ASUN team. I just think 3 points, the way they're playing, I think they're so much better than Bellarmine. I don't know, but it's whatever.
I agree. I looked at the record and I went, wait, what? They've just quietly gone through. We haven't really talked about them a ton on here. And I went, oh, all right. We kind of missed out on this. They're 7-3, 7-3 in their last 10 against the spread. Yeah, give me that team.
They're 7-1 overall in their last 8 games.
Yeah,
and they've won some road games too. They've won 3 road ASUN games, and they won at Ole Miss this year.
Yeah, and I think they're coming into this game with a major chip on their shoulder. Bellarmine has won the last 5 straight up against UNA, and I think they come into this game revenge spot, fired up, go in. Senior night at Bellarmine, probably go in and spoil senior night. I love this game. Money line sprinkle.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like a money line this one for sure. This will be a good value. Although I think it's going to be probably closer to a pick 'em. So we'll see. Baylor at Kansas. We're split on this. Both these teams have been wildly inconsistent. I think Baylor's been playing a little bit better of late than Kansas. But yeah, man, I'm only losing 4 points at Allen Fieldhouse. It always feels like a mistake to go against Kansas at home.
No, I agree. But just like Alabama, Baylor's been my team. I've been riding them all year. I'm a loyal guy. No reason to hop off, especially if they're catching 4. I know they're playing West Virginia right now. They were losing last time I checked, but that was about an hour or so ago. But no, Baylor's my team. Sticking to it. Ride or die.
All right. I like it. Yale at Princeton. Went with this game because this is for first place in the Ivy. And if you have first place in the Ivy League on the line, of course, it's got to be on here.
Yep.
What kind of show would we be without that? I went with the home team. Like putting that logo in there, so I wanted to put that in. That's kind of a sneaky, cool logo. Yeah, that's my thoughts on this.
No, sometimes you just got to roll with the logo. It's going to be a great uniform game. Texas is really going to lose flat out to Texas Tech. They would. Yale is rolling. They, in their last 10, great against the spread. They're also just blowing teams out. They beat Princeton a month and a half ago by 22 points. A game was at Yale. I don't care. You can't tell me that whatever Princeton arena is, the Einstein arena, is going to be a 22-point swing. So Yale's rolling everyone in the Ivy League. Might be a little sneaky 13, 14 seed come next month. So just be on the lookout for Yale.
Yeah, for sure. BYU at St. Mary's. Again, I'm going against one of my darlings. Like, I love Alabama. I love St. Mary's. I think St. Mary's is a sneaky Final Four team this year. Just, man, 12 points for BYU. Like, BYU's too proud to go not cover a 12-point spread, right?
Did you miss that football game in October?
I don't.
He said, "What is football?"
Every football game in October.
No, I was honestly, this is the game that I took the longest amount of. Yeah, too much screaming in LA. Yes, Chad, that is it. This game I took the longest to look at. St. Mary's, obviously, they had that marquee win against Gonzaga, lost their next game out, and then they laid an egg the first half on Saturday, I think. But then they came out second half and just rolled. I think they went on like a 22 to nothing run, something like that, to start off the second half. So I think they've beaten back that Gonzaga hangover, and they're just going to keep it rolling against BYU on a Saturday.
BYU definitely one of the more disappointing teams this year. I think the team was flirting around top 25 at the beginning of the year, and they're like 16 and 12.
Very, very similar to football. I'll just spoil it. It's very similar to football.
All right. I'm guessing we're have the same mindset but flipped on this next one.
Yeah.
I'm going Kennesaw because I think they're going to bounce back against Queens. You think you're going with Queens because you think they're going to have a letdown after Liberty. Is that where we're at?
Yeah, I hated this game. I hate that I picked Queens. I even hated it more when I saw it in the graphic. Queens has been losing, but they haven't been losing by that much. Their last 3 losses have been by an average of 4 points. Yes, Kennesaw State's better than those teams, but they're a team that's going to hang around to keep it close. And if Kennesaw State's winning this game handily, and that spreads right around the number, they're not going to risk injury and something meaningful. They're just going to be like, all right, fine, cover the spread. We win by 5. That's all that matters. And Queens gets the cover. And again, I hate it. I hate it even more I look at it. It's like ugly gray graphic. I don't know what I was thinking.
All right, and then finally, I cannot believe the two guys picked Jacksonville State on this one. I think this might be my most confident Liberty pick all year. I think Liberty is 25 points better than Jacksonville State. I think they're going to cover this with ease. They're just so much better. I don't know. I think this line's going to be a lot higher than 11. This line's going to be like 15.
No, I agree. They just haven't quit yet. Jacksonville State, they're 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. So just again, it could be not even a letdown, but more of a, all right, we're going to just kind of coast, especially if Liberty does beat Kennesaw. They'll be like, all right, we're where we want to be. And I know Richie McKay is not going to let them have that attitude, but it's very easy to go, all right, we're up 15 with 5 minutes to go. Send in the walk-ons, and let's just kind of coast it out. Let Jacksonville State hit a couple hero ball threes, cut it to single digits, and get out of there with a win.